I got fed up of just knowing that I'm crying all the time. I was kind of being a bit of a victim, I guess. Kind of just had enough of it.
This week, we are talking to someone who may well just match the energy of Yellow Tuxedo. This week, it's the lovely Debbie Crompton, one half of Stebbington, the nerds you need. Before we get started, do be sure to give the podcast a little like, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to hang out with us more, go and find us on our shiny new Instagram channel at The Digital Circus Life, and we will see you on the other side. Debbie, one half of Stebbington, thank you very much for being here today. As we start the Digital Circus Live for another week, we have one very important question. What are you trying to achieve right now?
What am I trying to achieve? Well, world domination, obviously, but if we're going to break it down into smaller steps, I'm probably going to... I want to achieve more getting on top of my marketing, funnily enough, and all the social media and everything like that. So that's kind of what I'm trying to achieve over this month.
Oh, right. I like a short-term goal like that.
I like a short-term goal. However, as this podcast is just as much about life and the adventures of life and being a business owner, what about outside of the business?
Oh,
because I'm going to be honest, and as it's you, I feel I can say this. I don't care, but I do care about, massively care, more than I can ever probably get across, how much I care about the personal side of stuff.
Okay, well, in that case, get comfortable. I think my main thing, this is a bit of a silly kind of goal, but I really want to achieve completing Hogwarts Legacy because I bought it for myself for my birthday.
I saw that on LinkedIn this week, and I was
so excited.
Amazing.
But I have to get through my other half. He won't be very happy about me playing it all weekend. So I'm trying to find him jobs to do. So he'll go and do those, and then I can play him.
I love that. So your lifelong goal is to finish Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of my lifelong goal for this month.
Are you a very much a kind of short-term thinker then?
Yeah. Because you only have right now, don't you?
Yeah.
Right. So I always think I can sit and go, oh, I really want to be a millionaire. Well, I don't really want to be a millionaire. I don't really have a long-term goal. I just want to be happy.
Well, hold on.
Get happy by small-term goals.
No, I'm fine with that, and I'm up with all the stepping stones. But you did start with world domination. Yeah. So what does your version of world domination look like? Or is it just Hogwarts Legacy?
Yeah, I was just being able to play computer all day, really.
Are you a proper gaming nerd then?
A little bit. But yeah, not like I love The Sims. It's so childish. The Sims came out in like 2000 or something, and I was like 15, and I loved playing it then, and I still play it now. So it's just like my little place I can go away to, and just my downtime is with computers, I guess, and gaming.
Fair enough.
But I talk about running and everything else. That's what I like to do and outdoors. But actually, I still play Asphalt 8 I play it on the Apple TV.
When do you play Asphalt 8?
Well, it's that car game I play periodically on the Apple TV. And I happen to know what it's called. You just see me playing a car game. Now, I don't play it very often at all, but probably, only once a month, because I'm not saying I'm a gamer, but I get the switching off absolutely just once in a while. And the fact that this is a visual thing, but I'll try and talk through it. On an Apple TV, you have a tiny little black remote. When you play a game, you just rotate it and it becomes the controller. It's so blimmin' clever. I mean, I come from the pre-computer years, right? I just turn it. I don't have to press a switch or slide anything. Just do that and I can use it,
Done.
It is magic. It's mind-blowing.
Well, I didn't always used to do gaming. I used to be on the stage when I was younger. So I was always at the theatre, or dancing and that. So I don't do that anymore. So that's kind of what I do now instead.
It doesn't surprise me that you're once on stage. You have such a energy about you that I feel like that's where you would thrive.
Yeah, I loved it. I grew up there, and it was so much fun. And like, so I used to get bullied in that school, and then I'd be able to go on stage and then just be someone else, and it was just wonderful. I loved it.
So, well, hold on. Sorry to hear you were bullied. It's never nice, right? But
he's just going to gloss over the painful part.
Well, it's chabba. It's not that interesting.
We do sometimes do these recordings. We go we finish at the end. That was like therapy. I was like, it's not meant to be therapy. It's not meant to be therapy. Right?
I've had so much therapy about it. It's all good.
But do you not I've not done as much as you've done on stage again, but I still have that desire to kind of perform. I was in plays when I was a kid and everything else, but now I'm still doing that, you know. So some would say, oh, like, oh, why do you not do anything like that anymore, for those who know, but for those, like, I'm still doing it. It's what I'm doing right now. And so my question was going to be, do you not want to be back on the stage? But I absolutely know you're still doing that in Stebbington, with the content and everything.
I mean, like, don't want to make it all awkward, but about 10 years ago, I suddenly couldn't walk. So that kind of put an end to my stage kind of stuff. And it's taken me a long time to get back up and walking and stuff. So I haven't been on stage because I've got MS, and I'm worried if I committed to something and then had a flare up, it's just not worth it. So it would just be embarrassing and awful. So that's why I don't do it. However, Steph and I do have our regular karaoke days. And
I was going to ask you about that whilst on a recording. You had your birthday this week. Happy birthday! And you were doing a karaoke bar, weren't you, for your birthday? How did that turn?
It was Steph's front room with a karaoke machine.
Oh, even better.
I love it.
Didn't have to share it with anyone. It was great. I love it. And then Steph and I, we always like dancing as we're walking around streets and things like. So I get to, like, there's like you said, Alan, like with Stebbington, so we'll get to do that performing.
And we see that in everything you're doing, and you're such a high energy company that we love. So I want to kind of get to Stebbington.
Are we glossing over both serious things?
No, I think we'll end up coming back round to that.
We normally come back
bringing it a little bit together. So you, with Stebbington, you work with your best friends. Obviously, we are best friends, but we work husband and wife together. That's quite a special dynamic to go into business with someone you care about so much. How do you do it day in, day out? Do you enjoy it? Do you find it difficult? Are there challenges working with your friend? Tell us about it.
Do you know what? She's probably the only person in the whole wide world I could do this with. And like we start we have quarterly reviews, like every quarter, obviously, and we always discuss it because we're like, how is it that we've managed to really compartmentalize? No, is that the word? Or segment our relationship. So we have our business friendship, and then we have our friendship, and we've been really good at not kind of then moving over. We don't have an ego in it. So if one of us doesn't agree with the other one, we'll be like, mate, I don't agree. The other one always listens, and then we either understand what the other one was saying and go with that, or we stick with what the original plan was. And I don't really see it very often because I could not work with my other half. I don't know how you two do it. Oh god, just giving me chills. With Steph, we just kind of, we're very sensitive. It's both what we really want to do, and like I said, we just have our business side enough, and we make sure to keep them separate. So we have a karaoke day. We didn't talk about work at all. Apart from to pat ourselves on the back when we were really drunk, we were like, "We're doing a great job." Other than that,
sorry, like so we talk about work when it comes up, so we don't compartmentalize or anything else or segment. But is that not difficult? Like when you're with Steph, do you not want to go, oh, that client's a douche, or oh, I love that.
Love all that
all our clients are wonderful.
I did that on purpose.
Wonderful.
No, I did that on purpose. You know, is it? Oh, I've had this idea, or do you go, no, I'm not allowed to discuss it now? You know,
we will still discuss it, but it's like, I don't know how to describe it. Like the power behind what you're saying about like the enthusiasm isn't as big when we're just having friend time as it is when we're at work. So one of us will go, oh, I've come up with this idea, and the other one will go, oh yeah, wicked, let's talk about it tomorrow. And then we don't. And we have, funnily enough, believe it or not, we have little project management tools. So if we do think of something whilst we're together, we put it on our phone, it goes into that, and then we discuss it next time we're at work.
It's like they work in that for a job.
I know. Who'd have thought?
So that's brilliant. How did you... The energy that comes out of Deb's, right, it's just overwhelms me, and we're quite overwhelming. So no, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's very rare that we find a fellow company like yourselves who match the energy that we kind of have as well. So it's brilliant. I love it. How did you get to work with Steph? How did that even become a thing? Was that just a drunken night in a pub one night going, how should we do this? Or was there much more thought behind?
Can we go further back? Oh. So how do you go from the performing arts side of things into, now I think you have alluded to the answer, but how into tech, into the nerds you need? How do you go from, you know, and we understand why you made a change, but there's normally a bit more to it than that, you know, it's sort of...
Yeah, well, and then speaking for Steph as well, we've always loved systems and processes.
Steph is here, just here.
Well, I am surprised Steph isn't here. I fully expected her to be there with you.
She was quite busy, and then I said to her this morning because she got off their call a bit earlier, and I was like, "You come in?" She's like, "No, you do it."
We'll do an episode with her at a
What I
later
might
date.
do on the cover art, Debbie, is like I'll put you there as we always do, but put Steph like a little bit smaller in the bottom corner, just so she's
on my shoulder.
On your
Yeah,
shoulder.
we'll do that.
Yeah, right. If I remember, I'll do that.
So I grew up because of the whole bullying thing. I didn't really go out much when I was younger, unless I was at the theatre. And my dad got me a little computer, and like when they first sort of came out, and when Excel was the first thing, and I used to sit at home just playing with Excel. Which I love. That's really coming useful now, but I love doing it. So I've always loved how systems work and formulas and like working out how all that kind of works. And then when I was in corporate, I worked my way up sort of to management. So then I was learning more about the people side and about how when you do a new process, you've got to take the people that you're with on board, because of bad morale if you don't, and if you, all of that stuff. And Steph did this similar thing, but she did the VA, and then she got into all systems. So when I got made redundant, I was like, mate, let's just have our business. So we worked together about 15 years ago. That's how we met. And then we started calling each other Stebbington about 10 years ago, which was really obnoxious, and I probably really wound everyone up. We're like, we're Team Stebbington. So when
referring to yourself in the third person. Hi, we're Stebbington.
We put our names together on drunken night, so the drunkenness does come into it. I was like, let's call ourselves Stebbington, because it's both our names put together. And so then when we started the business, we were like, what other name could it be?
Yeah. There's not good. It can't be any other name, really, can it?
But I think that's brilliant. I think some people really do overthink the things like names of businesses, and it is important. Don't get me wrong, but you can spend hours and hours and hours. And actually, if it just comes naturally to that, and if it feels right and it fits, go with it. And you can call yourself anything, really.
I think, right, going back to your love of spreadsheets back in the day, I honestly, I can't laugh about it, because I would sit at home, like, designing a spreadsheet.
I was not one of those people.
No, you were not.
You were living your life.
No, I absolutely love all this tech, every element of it. It's the efficiency side of it for me, which is why we like to try and help people be more efficient now, isn't it? But I just think more people are probably into that. And the bit I like is you sort of, rather than just saw it as a kind of guilty pleasure or something, I just did it, you lent massively into it and went, well, why would I not do that? So it makes perfect sense to do it, really.
I think people give themselves too much stress when they grow up thinking they have to do a certain job or something, and then take the thing that they love doing. They don't really. I think that when people go to work, you should do it because you love doing something. So when it came to starting a business, it was like, well, we love systems, so why not just make a business? Find a way to do what you love as work. So I think, that's kind of how it was. We just really lent into it because we just really love systems.
I've just finished reading Arnie Schwarzenegger's I'm a big fan of Arnie
I love Arnie.
for a lot of reasons, and all the normal reasons. So I read his book, but in all fairness, there was nothing new in his book that I hadn't read before, hadn't heard or watched before. But one of the bits I really liked was when he was talking about your vision or your purpose, any vision mainly, at any age, he said, go back to what your vision was when you were a child. What did you want to do when you were older, when you were like 12 years old and everything else? And I think too many people, as you say, dismiss that as kind of stupid. Like Lydia Rose, our 10-year-old, currently she wants to run her own pet shop, right? That's what she wants to do. And
she's rubbish looking after animals. We've got 7 chickens and a rabbit out there. She never touches.
Yeah, but she loves them, so all she has to do is love.
She can.
Yeah, she can have staff looking after it. Yeah, are you poo-pooing? Are you quashing her desires and dreams and vision?
No.
You're one of those parents. Anyway, my point is, I think I'd be devastated if Lydia Rose was 30 odd years old and was still going, I only ever wanted to run a pet shop, and was now working in, I was going to say a brand in a dismissive way, insert brand here, I'm only just working there now. And I think, why would we not let our kids lean more into what they want to do, especially if they're into systems and processes like you.
But then I grew up thinking I wanted to be a teacher because all my family were teachers, and there was a lot of pressure for me to do that. And then I didn't, because I ended up having my son really young, so that kind of got me out of that. And then luckily a few years later I was like, I'm glad that I wasn't a teacher, because I don't really like teaching and I don't like children, so I don't know. So I had that whole thing of like,
That's what I said.
I was like, so what was I thinking? So I might have been pressured, because you think when you're younger, oh, that's what I should be doing, but in reality,
Yeah, but you still
systems and
kind of
processes.
teach, even though
Yeah.
people give you their systems and processes to look after and make better, etc., etc. You still teach people just by proxy of what you do, because you'll now be doing something for them they didn't realise they could do before.
Yeah, but in my own way.
yeah,
Like, it's
absolutely.
not just by a curriculum where you think, oh, you've got to do it that way.
Yeah.
So,
But I also think that's one of the... I'm warming up now. I was a bit quiet at the beginning. I also think that's one of life's fabulous things. That, like, people of our generation, and I believe I could be quite a bit older than you, right? But people of our generation...
You're not in your like 60s.
Well, I don't like naming... I'm in my mid-40s. I presume Deb's in her mid-30s.
39,
That-
aren't you?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, you did say 40 next year, didn't you, actually? I
Yeah,
saw
no,
that
she
somewhere.
said, this is the thing, I don't stalk you, but I stalk you
You're
a little
such a
bit.
stalker.
But you were celebrating this week your last year in your 30s, so I absorbed and I remembered.
Well, that's brilliant. I have no idea what I was about to say, so let's just move on from it, because then we got caught up
So
on it.
anyway, old granddad, carry on talking.
Well, I've just said I can't remember what I was going to say. I was talking about people of our
45,
generation.
seriously.
I do feel old some days, but I'm fitter and healthier than I've ever been.
Talk.
I don't know what I was going to say. I've said that 3 times. I'm waiting for you to rescue me.
No, we like watching this. It's funny.
Yeah, it's
Well,
funny.
I mean, I'll just come up with something
So,
random. It's
so
fine.
You had your son really young, and
Oh my goodness, yes.
no, I'm curious. So everything you've learned from your choice in career and not going into teaching and doing it for yourself and this adventure on with Steph, do you impart
I know what I was going to say.
Do you impart any of that on your son? Has he got similar kind of thoughts about future life?
Well, yes, he wants to be a lawyer. He's at university
Wow.
at the minute studying. So that's what he wants to do. And I was because I got really pressured. I felt really pressured as I was younger. I'd never wanted to do that for Josh. But then he wanted to be a clown. Like, that was his original job. So he could have worked at the Digital Circus as the clown.
Wow, you can actually
'cause
do circus skills as a degree at Winchester University.
Well, it's a lot of skill as well, because we did anyway moving off on that. And then one day he decided he didn't want to be a clown anymore. He wanted to be a lawyer, which is quite a switch. I don't know what happened to him.
Still
but
an
yeah,
element of performance and entertaining within it, though.
yeah, and that's what he loves. He loves doing all of that. And so I never really wanted to force him, but he wanted to do that since he was about 12. So when it came to his GCSEs and his A-levels, he always had that kind of goal. And I was always very big to him, if you change your mind, you might not want to do that when you're older, then that's fine. You've got the good stuff behind you. So, but yeah, he's just always wanted to do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what age, sorry, did he want to be a clown and then become a lawyer?
He wanted to be a clown from the age of like 3 till like 10, 11, and then he had a year of not sure what he wanted to do, and then at 12 it was a lawyer. And
Oh,
that's-
not sure I wanted to do it at
I mean,
11
I
years
still
old.
don't know.
Isn't that just to take that for a second, because I just feel that as well in the don't get me started on the education system, but we have that pressure
Yes.
at that age to know what you're going to do with your entire life, and I'm 40 and I have no idea.
No, exactly that, and that's what we've always said to him. Like when he went on about the lawyer thing, I was like, you don't have to make a decision now, because you're right. We were lucky because when he came to his options, he knew roughly what direction he wanted to go in. So he was one of those lucky kids that knew what he wanted to do. But there's so many kids out there that just don't, and
Yeah.
it's horrible seeing how much pressure they get, because it's just
is.
you don't.
'Cause you
People
gotta
don't really
choose.
know. Yeah, people don't know what they want to do until I reckon in their 30s and 40s anyway.
Well,
properly.
we've had so many of these interviews over the last couple of months, and we're talking to the sort of the 50 plus sort of interviewees there. They're all in that mid-50s career change at that point, because they don't want to do the thing that they have been skilled up to do for the last 30 years. Actually, this is the point where and a great example is Michelle Armitage, who was on. She was in HR for the best part of 30 years,
Decades, yeah.
and then now she's working in design psychology. She's
Actually,
working in a completely different field, and I think that's amazing.
No,
Why
it
should
is.
you say that's my lot now, that's what I'm going to do until I die? That's just boring.
She was 10 years from retirement. If she stayed in her corporate world and went, stuff this, I want to live for those 10 years. Now, there is this bit of me that says do the 10 years, if I'm honest, but there we go. Right. I was going back. I remember what I was going to say, and although not overly profound, I still think it's relevant. I think it's exciting that we do live in an age now when you can still, a bit like the entertaining thing now, and a bit like the teaching thing without being a teacher in the confines that would have been put on those desires of us when we were younger. So, you know, let's take YouTube and podcasting as it's relevant right now. I always wanted to be a Radio 1 DJ when I was younger. And so I am. That's what I'm doing, just not on Radio 1 in my own way.
They didn't want him.
I did. This is true. Well, no, I've applied for 2 BBC roles over the years. I don't know if I've ever given the full story. So I applied to be a radio.
He's the wrong demographic.
Yeah, radio. No, not on. Well, I don't know. Radio 1 apprentice years ago, 2001. I applied to be a Radio 1 apprentice, and I didn't get it. And if I'm honest, at the time I applied, as much as I wanted to do it, I knew I was going to have to give up my life and move to London and things like that. And I quite enjoyed my life, which was always part of my challenge. I've massively enjoyed what I've done outside of work, so which has stopped me doing work, which is probably a good reason I now,
Sorry.
you know, we are. That's all right.
It's okay.
Is it emotional?
It's
a sneeze. And then,
can I just say that's the cutest sneeze ever?
yeah, and then about 5 years ago, I applied to be on BBC Radio Solent, and there were 3 judges. You had to do like a minute-long spiel. There were 3 judges. 2 were randoms, and 1 was a BBC boss. And I will deliver this as PC as possible, but the BBC boss wasn't happy. The other 2 went, but he's really good. Why would you not be happy? And we felt it could be I wasn't fitting them.
Sorry,
Right.
sorry.
No, it's not exactly the best story ever. But
He's a middle-aged.
we wondered if she didn't
White
like
male.
it because I wasn't fitting. You know, this was Radio Solent, and they were trying to clear the people out who looked like me to get people in who didn't like that. Are we allowed to say stuff?
You
like
just
that?
did. It's
Oh,
okay. It's your
let's do
opinion.
it.
It's
Stuff
fine.
it. It is
You
my
could.
opinion.
It could have been that.
Stuff them, the losers.
But what that allows Alan now is to do brilliant voiceovers, so like a stabbing to
Oh,
Yeah, I love that.
which has just made me laugh all week hearing that because Alan's had it on repeat.
If I remember, I'll put the link to that in the
Please,
description.
you should put that in the show notes. The little description of going to that.
It was great. It was great. Well,
I'm glad
that
you
goes
used
off
it.
anytime Steph rings me. Yeah, so that's always been used. But then I was like, right, this is the ideal voiceover now for this video.
Yeah,
I
and
love it.
that's what I love about you two so much. And that clearly
That is true. I know exactly what you're going to say. I totally agree.
that clearly is a non-negotiable in terms of what you do as a business, and that's that element of having fun together. Has that been like that from the start? Have you always, because obviously we're like that. If it's not fun, it's not worth doing. Is that one of your core at your core?
Yeah, 100%. Like for our friendship, it's always been like that. We used to hang. The minute I met Steph, my life changed because I was a bit like, I'd always see her like playing the music. No, I always used to see her as this really popular, like energetic, bubbly person, and I'd sit at my desk in the corner like, I wish she could be my friend. And then one day she was. Like, I didn't have to like get her drunk or anything. She was just my friend, and then we were inseparable, and we've always had fun, and that's always been the thing. Like we, you know, if we're walking down the street, then we start singing and dancing. I mean, I don't know when the point is we get so old it starts to look a bit weird, but for now it's fine. I don't care. We don't care basically. And with our business, tech isn't sexy. It's not exciting. It's boring to a lot of people, and because we love it, we find that if you get people on board and, you know, with the energy and stuff, then they start to love it too, and then it works for them. So yeah, that's kind of just that's our fan.
All right. I want to know how you became friends then, because I know you said 1 minute you weren't and she was the cool kid and you were the kid in the opposite corner. So what happened that you became friends? Please don't be another sob story.
I think we were both the young.
I didn't mean it like that. It's like I can't deal with them.
We were both quite young in the office, and then we went to a work thing, and then I was a bit shy. Steph is not, and then we just started talking and we got on really well. And then randomly, which I'd never do normally, or I don't think she would either, we were just like, should we go to Brighton, like over Christmas on a night out?
So you just woke up one morning and go, should we go to Brighton?
Yeah, pretty much. We had a good night together, like just chatting. And then all of a sudden we're making plans to go out for the night over Christmas. And then we we stole some burger crap, like King Crowns, and we wore them around Brighton. We went clubbing, we got in trouble. Like, we just had loads of fun. And then after that, that was it, really. It was always like it's meant to be. And I don't have that with many of my other friends, which is why I think we've got something really special, because it isn't just as simple as, oh, we just chatted a lot. Like one of us took the plunge.
Yeah. Okay. So then coming back to the fun energy thing, enjoying it, it's not sexy, so we got to do this. It's not an act for you. This is a very natural thing you're doing. But
I could make this.
No, I know. But if we look back at I'm stalking you on LinkedIn, due diligence / stalking on LinkedIn, and your kind of employed roles were with relatively large organisations, it's very easy to then, when you run your own business, to mirror the more corporate-y way of doing things. So how comes you've decided to not do that?
Because we pick the bits out of corporate. So obviously Steph left corporate a lot earlier than I did. And there are some good things about corporate when you're running a business, and there are some tools and stuff that we have taken on. It's because we are quite serious about a lot of stuff in business. You just don't see it.
Serious about
how
systems.
It runs. Yeah. I'm serious about lots of different things. So I think because I have been like this all my life. So after I met Steph, this is how I kind of came out of just not being energetic. And I took that in my corporate life as well, because it made me different. As a woman in corporate, it's quite difficult to be noticed and heard. And I made sure that I, always said what I was thinking, and was in a polite way, obviously, and positive, and just bringing that positivity and that, and then people kind of get drawn to that. So then you can get somewhere within corporate because you're heard. So it's like when we decided to take our business, Steph's, I'm sometimes the one that's like, we need to do this and we need to do that, and I bring the corporate side, and then Steph's like, she does the other side of it, where she'll either reel me back in and be like, that's too much, but then so that's kind of how. That's another reason where we're very similar but very different in how
I think that's important.
Like
Alan and I are very similar in that as well, in terms that we have very different skill sets and different personalities. We both, outwardly, when you see us on a video or anything like social media, that is still us. But I am probably a bit more. Alan, I'm a bit more the straight man sometimes, and Alan's
you are the straight man, but I'm the corporate one. Straight person is 2024. You are the straight person, but I can't say.
If I identify as a straight person,
I agree, but we don't mean straight as in, oh my god, it's a minefield, isn't it?
Anyhow,
I know what you mean.
Yeah, you're the more straight comedic, but whatever. Yes.
And it is tricky, but sorry.
Yeah, no, because I was going to say, because that's saying Steph, everyone sees Annie and Steph. So Steph always seems like the loud one, and I'm like the quiet one, whereas Steph calls me the psycho one, because it's always the quiet ones that are more psychopathic. True. But then she's more shy than me, so it's like that kind of thing. I think that's why it works, isn't it? You've got you can't be both the same. Because then I don't think that would work.
Otherwise you would literally, you'd never get those good ideas coming through. And I think that is the benefit of being a two as well. There's a benefit to being a one. There's a benefit to being a massive team as well. But I think with a larger team, you've got too many thoughts and too many people and too many ideas. With the two of it, at least you can bounce off it. But if you're both the same, you're never actually going to get that growth opportunity, because you're kind of very straight down one way. I want to come back to, if it's okay. So you mentioned your MS, and that was one of the reasons that you stopped with the theatre and you had your flare up there. And looking at you right now, you're looking really lovely and healthy, and you're hopefully in a good space right now. Was there any kind of reason to how you got back to your health at this? When you lost your use of your legs and now you're walking again, was there any catalyst to you getting better at that point with that flare up? And in terms of you now and what you're doing and how you kind of integrate that with your business, because it's hard. Being a business owner is hard. Is that ever a worry for you with your condition, or is it just part of your life now?
Well, with the business side, yeah, it is a little bit, because it's really expensive to get insurance now. All of that, for my life insurance and that, it's really expensive. So yeah, that is quite annoying. I think with my MS, so I had a good long time where I wasn't really walking and doing stuff, and my mental health kind of really dipped and everything with it. And then I just got fed up of being depressed about it. I got fed up of just knowing that I'm crying all the time and all of that. And I think there's just something inside me just went, that's enough. Yeah. You're not going to get better. You're not going to be, I was kind of being a bit of a victim, I guess. I don't know, the victim. Yeah, those are the words. And then I was like, no, I've kind of just had enough of it. So I changed my mindset about how I was. And then and then we got my dog. And then I started walking my dog. And then I started pushing myself walking. And then realising I could do it. I'd be like, no, I can't do that because I have MS. And then I was like, no, I can do it in spite of my MS. I can get on and do that. So then I was able to walk 4 or 5 miles. And then I was like, and then when I noticed that gave me you kind of fake it till you make it, didn't you? You fake being all positive, and then you realise you've done all this stuff, and now I'm like, yes, I can do all of that stuff. And I have my limitations. I know I need to sleep. I know I need to go to bed early, and if I don't, then it affects my brain. So but then I'm accepting of that, and I'm happy with that. So I say to people, yeah, I can do this, but I can't go out 3 times a night or 3 times a day or something. I have to pick what I do, and I'm happy and confident doing that. And that was a massive thing, because now. And working with Steph, so if I have a bit of a tough afternoon where I'm just not really, because it affects my brain, and I just say, mate, I'm logging off. She's like, go and log off. There's no judgment and anything. So I've got that support as well.
That's incredible.
So,
I only asked another interview we had recently as well was with Imogen.
Yes.
Imogen is a nutritionist, but she was born with a rare form of eczema and various other sort of conditions, and she was born, literally came out of the womb covered in scars and scabs and things like that, and it took her for many years, and then there ended up being a excuse me, I get it wrong. There's a dependency on her topical steroids.
That's it.
She was on steroid creams, and she became very, very, very sick. And it was a very not the same story as you there, but actually it took her to go, no, enough is enough. I'm in control of this. The use of medications, these things are not going to help me. I have to take control of that. And it was a very similar kind of, okay, what can I do? What can I do to empower myself? I can change my diet. I can change my routines. I can make sure I can sleep. And actually, as she is now self-employed, I can see that kind of synergy there. Are you synergy?
I mean, there's synergy's okay. No, there's worse words than synergy.
But I think that's great. And carving a life for yourself in a way that fits you is super important. And I think that's what you don't always get in an employed. Yes, they have to be super accepting of and put reasonable measures in those employees, but they can never match up what you truly need. And having that flexibility and that really good relationship with Steph there to say, yeah, I'm off now, done, and her to give you no judgment at all. I think that is a really important thing to have in your business as well.
Yeah, and I was really lucky when I was in corporate, because I had some different types of managers, but then my last one was he was amazing, and he was so supportive, and he was very much like that. So I've been really lucky that I've kind of had that support. Even in corporate, it does happen. Some people have the horror stories and that, but they actually did me really they were awesome for me. So but definitely I think it's just that thing, isn't it? I think you take up so much time of your life, and if you're really unhappy, and then you've got a choice. I don't enjoy being unhappy. I don't know if anyone else, maybe some people do, I don't know. But I was like, I have to change this. And I did have some treatment at the hospital, and the last lot I had was really good, which was quite, it's just almost like chemo sort of stuff that I had. And so that took me a long time to get over that. But I think because I was feeling quite positive, I got over it a lot quicker. And all that, so.
On to happier topics again. I do want to touch, because you mentioned at the beginning and we kind of glossed over it, the world domination piece, because we have this a lot again.
I think it's important. We never got to what it means to you.
And I do appreciate the living month by month and not having long term. And I think that's a great way to live as well, because again, life is very short, and we've seen that with many things that happened to us recently. But what does your version of world domination look like?
Yeah.
Well,
we're not getting out of this.
No. Well, it's all right. I've got the answer. So what it is I want to say this is world domination for Stebbington. I'm not like Putin or anything. I don't know.
No one. We've had people go, world domination, that's got rather negative connotations associated to it. And we're like, yeah, of course none of us literally mean we're not Genghis Khaning the world, you know.
That's not in our plan. So what it is so we want Stebbington to be that kind of company where people need a new system, or they need that help. And so when you start a business, or when a business starts to grow really quick, they're like, I haven't got time to find the right system, and I haven't got time to implement it. And then Stebbington's kind of that name that people can go and do, and then we do it all for them. Not me and but on the other side, me and Steph aren't doing all of that. We are sitting on a yacht somewhere singing karaoke, or
dancing down the street.
Yeah. in sumo suits. No, not sumo suits. Right, our closest, the one we want to get is those T-Rex. You know those T-Rex inflatable suits. Like one day we're going to get that and we're going to do so much content with them. We're not sure how it's going to work or what that has to do with anything we do. But we just do it for fun.
Right, so exactly that. Who cares how it's going to work, and who cares if it's relevant? Who cares with anything? And the irony being, it will work because you just want to do it for fun.
Just make sure you go to the loofah. We were a special guest of the lovely Dodge from Bournemouth Sevens Festival.
Eventful Lives podcast.
Dodge Woodall, worth getting a listen and wrap around your ears there. But anyway, we went to Bournemouth Sevens for the day, which is great because we never have away days, and especially not ones where we get to go. Like get drunk and not worry about the kids. It's amazing. You drove. I got drunk. But we were there in the one of the bars, sat there, and this entire rugby team. There must have been about like 16 lads, all in their dino suits, all lagering. I was like, practical point here, boys. How do you go to if you're drinking that much liquid?
You don't want to know.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want to know.
Never.
Never ask a group like that how they go to toilet.
Neck their pints back. I mean, that's just not practical. Maybe it's because I've got a pea-sized.
You know what they're going to do? They're going to stand there looking at you, smiling as a wet patch appears. They don't care. You're not in this. The groups of men going out stories are. I see. I'm a man who likes a stag do but can't stand a stag group. Can't stand a stag group, but I love a stag do. So men aren't nice.
Yeah. No, they're not.
We can be. Obviously, I have to say some men are nice. Because. No men are nice.
All men are lovely.
Sometimes. All men are lovely sometimes.
We're all different and everyone has their good and bad points. That's the answer, isn't it?
I'm just thinking about you not liking stag groups and this is not going
Have you ever seen a group of men on a night out?
You went to Vegas.
We did. 13 of us went to Vegas for
you
my
were
stag.
The ultimate stag group.
I was the last one to get married in my kind of group of mates. And all through all the others, we joked about going to Vegas and all of them went, no, my fiance won't let me, or whatever other rubbish they came up with. And when it came to mine, two of my mates went, do you know what? If you want to go to Vegas, I'm coming to Vegas. So we went, even if just the three of us go, we're going to Vegas. 13 of us went. So we spent a long weekend in Vegas. It was carnage. One of my friends got the swimming pool at the Luxor closed down because he was sick in it. And
After having a Bloody Mary.
This is not big or clever, but they're mildly amusing in hindsight. And we all got asked to leave the swimming pool because my best man, who said would not stitch me up, put me right. This is not cool, right? But basically, we had this thing about white Speedos. So we were all these pasty white blokes by the pool in white Speedos. So as a joke, my best man gave me a white thong instead of white Speedos. So I'm dancing on a podium in the middle of the swimming pool in the Luxor Hotel. And as I'm standing up there, my thong went see-through. So the lifeguards came up and suggested we left the pool and I changed my thong. There we go.
Oh, what a lucky girl you are, Emily.
I don't know where we go from here in this interview.
And then there was pictures of it. So my best man got a life-size print of it. Should I put that on the social? No.
I don't think anyone needs that in their life. No one needs that.
That'd be
Back
funny.
to
like to think I'm a nice guy, and then I remember some of my... No.
But you don't like a stag group.
I don't know.
Okay.
No men like stag groups.
Those stag groups are just terrible.
Can't stand a stag group.
They're repulsive.
They're beneath me, those stag groups.
Alan.
It's about Debbie, not me.
So... Coming towards the end here, Debbie, because we could talk to you for hours because your energy is just infectious, and you know
you can't
that.
say energy without thinking of the Out Here Brothers.
Though.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Last question, important question. This is how we bookend every episode. You need to go back to your younger self, and that could be any age you choose. Put your arm around yourself and go, Debbie, do this. What's that going to be? What's your bit of advice to your younger self?
Well, I can't say that.
I can bleep stuff out.
No. Oh gosh. I would say, even though it feels rough now, I promise those lessons will mean something later in the future. It's very profound, but it's very true.
No, I'm on board because it's like if you change the past, then you're not going to be the person you are today.
Yeah.
And I imagine you come across like you're relatively happy with who you are today.
Fingers crossed. I'm very happy with you.
I'm
way happier. I'm so much happier.
Well, I was expecting them to go, well, no, actually, the truth is, So yeah, if you change too much, then it is.
I love that. I absolutely love that.
Lovely,
And
thank
you are brilliant. You know you're brilliant. And I do look at you both fondly, and I wish you every bloody success in the world, because Stebbington is an incredible business, and I just
With dominating the world, Genghis Khan styling.
But not like Putin.
not like Putin.
Putin.
Okay with Genghis, but not with Putin.
Yeah.
Debbie, thank you so much. We will get Steph on for her in a little episode, because I think it'd be nice to kind of do a little bit of a side by side to see how you might not be different. You might have exactly the same.
Could you imagine she was really horrible about me? Do you imagine she's like, oh yeah, I just there's no one else, so I just sort of just hang out with her.
Oh, I saw her looking lonely and I felt sorry for her. And her mum pays me £5 a month direct debit to be her friend.
Yeah, could you imagine? That'd be terrible. Great content,
I think
though,
that's
wouldn't
what's...
it?
Yeah, we'll have that. We'll make sure she says it regardless of whether it's true.
Right, long live the karaoke machine.
Yes.
Long live world domination.
And Harry Potter legacy.
Harry Potter legacy, and long live Stebbington. Thank you so much for talking to us today. Everyone else, thank you so much for listening to our rambles of weirdness and wonderfulness. And we will see you next time on the Digital Circus Live.
Bye.
Thank you so much, guys.